is a very special place because we get to go business to business, belly to belly, but more importantly, my favorite part is we get to be heart to heart. Unlike most networking events, Business and Bubbly cultivates an atmosphere of vulnerability, intimacy, and power, courage, strength, right? We love to go deep inside and really embrace who we are as women in the marketplace, as women on the earth, right? Because more importantly than the to-dos in business is the who. It's you. It's who you are and who you show up as in the world. And if this is your first time being exposed to a networking group, I'm telling you, it is the most special thing in the world because you get to be vulnerable here. You get to connect with people in such an intimate way that normally you wouldn't. Because most people, when you go to networking events, it's just like, what's your business? Who do you do? And how can I leverage that to profit either my business or help you leverage yours, right? And unfortunately, that doesn't go very far. However, if you connect heart to heart and you start to realize, wait a minute, I know her. I saw her heart. I know how much more she has to offer the world. Well, in moments when there's vulnerability, which in business, how many of us know? We have plenty of it, right? You know someone who knows you that can call you up and help support you when you're feeling down. Because in life, that happens to everyone. And in business, we get 10x of it, right? There's that moment where you feel like a total loser, like a failure, like I'm no good at anything. And then there's those highs that unfortunately aren't as frequent as we'd like, where you're like, I can conquer the world. But if you're alone, and you're doing it day in and day out, life can beat you up pretty quick. And those low moments can last longer than they should. And so being part of networking groups, being part of communities like Business and Bubbly are so crucial because the world needs what you have. And you need to be putting yourself in environments and in places where people will recognize that beauty, call you out, see the gold in you, and tell you you can do it. You can get it one more time, right? Fix that makeup, put those shoes on, and get back out there and do it again. And what's even cooler is that Business and Bubbly isn't just a local event, right? It's not just here. Just like we were talking about earlier, it's in Napa, it's in Boise, it's here in Meridian, and it's nationwide. And so, if for those of you who aren't from around here, which I know that that's the case, right? Some people come from out of state. You have an opportunity to cultivate and to recreate what's happening in this room in your own spaces, in your own places, and to be able to call out the gold in other women around you and to light a flame in the world around because they need what we do here. And so I'm so excited for today. I'm so excited for just the awesome things that we will be stirring up today. And for those of you who have never met and don't know Charity Majors, she is the founder of Business and Bubbly. She is the visionary and the powerhouse behind all of this, everything that was created. And she is just a force to be reckoned with. I'm so excited for the year that God has planned for her. We've been talking a lot about what God's doing to put her into just incredible spaces. And so you guys get the treat and the honor of learning from and partnering with one of the biggest gifts on earth, in my opinion, Charity Majors.
Isn't she just so great? Let's give it up for Eureka. You guys are so quiet this morning. We're going to reset this. So I'm actually having you stand up. We're resetting this because actually in this room, we are each other's biggest fans.
Yeah.
Okay, because we are in the arena together. And what typically happens when we actually meet about 10,000 people on average in our lifetime. And that's about the size of the Rome Coliseum. And in this room, because we are in the arena together, we're not in the cheap seats, right? How many of you guys have enough people in the peanut gallery and cheap seats in your life, right? So we are each other's biggest fans. So actually, Vio, I want you to come back up here. And we're going to be her biggest fan right now and cheer her on and just celebrate her, because I've seen her come from the new girl walking in the room, not knowing where she fit in, to now co-leading this chapter with me, which has been so amazing to see her step into a new level of leadership and a new level of owning her space, a new level of using her voice and using her influence for good. And so I actually just really feel like you just need to be celebrated this morning. So let's give it up for Viri. All right, that's better. All right, you guys can sit down now. Good job. We are going to do a little fun, intentional connection. And I love doing this because how many of you have been to networking events before where it's filled with, yes. How many of you have been to networking events before? Yes. And how many of you have been to networking events that are filled with bad 30-second stories in boring beige conference rooms and like the speed card dating, like here you go, like, and it, like you're just like, what is happening right now? Anybody? I totally have been too. And so when coming out of 2020 and really feeling even just in the atmosphere like, gosh, we just really are Zoom fatigued and want to connect on a deeper level, heart to heart, business to business, belly to belly, I was like starting to create what we are doing today. And a year later it turned into incredible chapters all over the world or all over the nation. We're 2.5 years in, and a lot of experts saying, give what you're doing a good 3 to 5 years and momentum is going to happen. And we're 2.5 years in. So we are just getting started and things are actually about to get really, really exciting. So one of our key cornerstones is that we're actually really intentional about cultivating connection. And we believe that when you ask better questions, and when we get brave with our answers, because it's a two-way street, that you create better connection. And I don't know about you, but yes, I love good shoes, but I don't want to talk about my shoes or the weather, or actually, I kind of do want to talk about my shoes because they are cute. I want to know what your hopes and your dreams are and what keeps you up at night and what you're coming against and how we can partner together and collaborate. I want to know the big crazy dreams in your life and your heart. And so what we actually do is invite women into better conversations by asking better questions, as well as really intentionally curate connection. Okay, it's something that we're really intentional about. So this is our exclusive Business Bubbly deck that I created, and I want you guys to just kind of thumb through and choose a picture on one of the cards that represents either there's two things. Actually, let's do this. You're good. Wait, before you choose a picture, you're going to choose a picture that represents what I like to call putting your rocks out on the table. Okay? So this is where if you've hit rock bottom, these are some of the lessons that you have gathered along the way. Or if you've had stones thrown at you, these are the ones that you have started to build back up what it is that you're doing. Because I'm such a firm believer that the things that we have gone through, and if we're intentional about picking up the lessons along the way, those actually become some of our greatest stories and breakthrough that we are able to not just teach others, because there's a lot of people teaching what they know, right? There's a lot of university professors teaching business who have never had a business, right? But we can actually impart what we've experienced. And so it's a different energetic exchange. That when we actually have gone through the rock bottom and we have picked up the rock that was just thrown at us and we've actually built something with it, it's a different energetic exchange. So I want you to find a picture that kind of represents, that we're going to put our rocks on the table and say, actually, this is a lesson that I've learned from one of the hardest times. actually, this was the thing that happened to me, but this was actually ended up being the greatest gift. And I'll share, for me, one of mine. When it's actually going on this year is 7 years, almost, where my husband and I journeyed through the loss of a child. And yes, it's really hard and really horrible. I would never wish anyone to go through that. And it has actually been one of the greatest gifts that I've been given. I remember sitting on the black bathroom floor, ugly crying, buried in shame, feeling so broken that my body couldn't keep this baby safe. And I remember sitting on the bathroom floor in the ugly cry, puddle of tears. And as I was sitting there, God came and met me. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. This isn't a faith-based group. I believe in God, so fill in the blank for whatever it is that you believe. But God came and met me and didn't give me a 7-step to get out of my whatever. And it told me that I wasn't broken. And that voice of truth inside actually began to reveal the unique perspective and miracle that every single one of us are. That it takes millions of pieces and parts for every single one of us to come together and for life to be sustained. And so it's not a mistake that you're here. It's not a mistake that you're here. And it's not a mistake that you're here. Out of all of eternity, I want to say that it's a 1 with, I think it's 23 zeros after it, whatever that number is, bazillion, quadrillion, million? I don't know. Of the exact chance for you to be here. From your parents and from their parents and grandparents and whatever, the exact unique DNA expression that you have right now in humanity in this time of all of history. And that was the perspective that I left that dark night of the soul with. And so when I come into spaces and when I encounter people and all of a sudden they start to feel like they're not enough, I'm like, no, you are a gift. Right? And what you have in your life, what you carry in your life matters. And the story that you've been through matters. And there's a different energetic exchange when that gets imparted instead of just taught like head knowledge. Right? So that was one of my stones, rocks on the table. Okay? So you're actually going to get into, let's do 3s. Triads. Get in groups of 3s. And you guys are just going to share about what this picture means to you. Maybe what your experience has been, and that rock that you're putting on the table that says, no, actually, this was the lesson that I picked up from rock bottom. Or this was the thing that I picked up that someone threw at me that was meant to break me and it didn't. Is this making sense? All right, so if you guys want to get into groups of 3s, and you're going to put your rocks on the table and just have a conversation about what that part of your story
we know each other, so we can't do
that you don't necessarily know.
I have a behavior pattern of being super clumsy and trying to not say that like I...
You get your coffee?
Yeah,
As
so
your
I'm
coffee
like,
cups are right there.
consciously like, right there, that's good. Gotta protect the liquid.
You know, it's the aroma that we're after.
So what's in person?
Sorry.
Almost.
Is that me?
Oh, yes,
I grabbed this card and I do a lot of traveling for my business, and my husband never goes with me. But honestly, like, post-COVID, like many other people, we filed for divorce. And it was within that 30 days we realized we didn't have to save our relationship, but instead, like, how do we actually connect with each other to help each other as humans and to still care about each other. And within sort of that 30-day time, we unfiled for divorce and saved our relationship. But what really came out of that was the importance of like all of this and all of this is just enjoy my life. Enjoy my life. That's what we want to do.
Cool. I got you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's like just like
whatever works.
Yeah. Just that you're happy, not necessarily about your relationship, but like just that you guys maybe celebrate.
And it was also like a big business decision where I'm not working 60, 70 hours a week anymore. Like I work 30, 40 hours a week and that's it. And that's so much better.
Yeah. I understand probably for like a lot of I've definitely okay, so I picked this card, and I work with little, so I work with a lot. And what spoke to me more so than just a card was that we moved to Boise, and I was restarting my business this summer. It was like I finally had everything I wanted, which was like to just rely on myself for income, to like work in the ways that I feel split up, and like all these things. But what also changed was a crazy amount of loneliness, and that's because I feel really loved. So I feel like what this card represents is like the duality of the fact that you can be really loved. You're really loved by your partner, you're really loved by your family, you're really loved by the friends you have. But if there is an experience that you are going through, you have people in person in your life that are able to walk with you through that very specific experience, you can still feel really isolated. And what was interesting is like I have a lot of like network groups and things like that. But it wasn't until I started asking questions like, okay, this is not fun. Being really feeling isolated is not fun. I constantly felt like I was meeting new people over and over and over and over again, and there wasn't like any continuation of like those relationships. So then I was like, all right, well, this sounds terrible, but I've never thought I like needed networking events because where I had my business last time, like I didn't do a whole lot of marketing because I didn't need to. So I spent my time here, I needed it, but I didn't just need it from a business perspective. I needed it from like a people perspective. Well, I feel like a lot is like not just the vision, but like the business stuff. Again, getting to be a lot.
But it's like this one, so it was the first one on the deck, and I'm like, oh, good. So, I'm just kind of struggling with long story short, it just not being able trying very key to the program is. So I think sisters getting involved, saying you was out, or if it was just community to for so we used to come to our house or whatever, just like we ended up doing kind of just this COVID and in the middle of it, I was kind of like, so that's a lot. So I think that is something I don't that's definitely great. You definitely see that to take COVID that but I would never think she didn't want to have this but now you also want to have your kidney husband your immune system like how much doctors I'm curious, okay, so what do you guys do?
I'm a pediatric physical therapist.
I have a marketing agency.
Another minute or so. Has everyone been able to go? Have you guys been able to? Okay, we'll give it a couple more minutes. No, you're good, you're good. We want space for everyone. We believe that everyone deserves to be seen and heard and known and to belong. So we want everyone to be able to get a chance to share.
Oh, was there? Did you? I was having a hard time hearing you. Did you say your husband was Alaska? Yeah. So you don't know what the love
Yeah, like, you know, it's like, here, eat bud, have drink, you know, like, at the same time, it's like,
I don't know how to hear it.
exactly, it's always like,
I don't like when things happen. I don't like to hear about that. Nope. Stay off the news. We'll just let them figure it out. Statistics are so very, very low.
Wrap it up.
My brain stays on.
I hear you there.
Just gonna give it over to them. I'm like, all I can tell you is like, mask comes out and putting it on. I'm not even asked a question.
Yeah.
See, and that was another thing that was
All right, as we
Like that was such a great analogy to even
wrap this conversation up.
You have to do that for yourself first.
You guys can go ahead and make your way back to your seats. You're going to hold on to those stories and hold on to your cards. No, you don't get to keep them, but I do want you to hold on to them.
You know, I just finish my coffee. I know.
just straight it up.
I saw that.
Class it up.
I love it. All right, ladies, you want to make your way back to your seat? How was that? How was the quality of that conversation?
Great.
Really great? Better than the weather? Good. Well, I want you to hold on to your cards for right now. Like I said, you don't get to keep them. They're ours for the chapter, so you can continue to use them every single month. But I do want you to hold on to them because we are going to use them in just a little while. And next, we're going to go into some of what I love to share about, which is actually empowering women's voices. I actually believe that you don't need to find your voice. You already have a voice, and you just need to be empowered to use it. And what this looks like is going through parts of your stories so that you have your story and not that it has you, okay? And we're gonna get into some really impactful communication and what it looks like to actually own the room and be responsible for the energy that you bring into a room, no matter whether it's this room, whether it is in a client meeting, whether you are playing with your babies, you're on a date night with your spouse, whatever that looks like. Effective communication is really important, but also the energy that we bring to that space and the intention of it. So we're going to go over a little bit of this communication and speaking, some tips, and then you guys are going to get to put it into practice. Because I actually believe, well, there's a statistic, and I believe it is that you actually retain around 70% of the information that you learn when you put it into practice immediately compared to just learning about it and then going on with your day, right? And I'm a big advocate for not just learning about something, but doing it. Because I think that there's a lot of people that are in kind of this analysis paralysis, and they're learning and they're taking all the courses and they're doing all the things and reading all the books and learning about all the podcasts, but it actually becomes a crutch for them. And it actually becomes an excuse for them to not take action. But there is a secret when it comes to taking action. Yes, it's going to be messy, and yes, it's going to be imperfect, so we get to leave perfectionism at the door. We get to step into the messy middle where it's going to feel a little clunky maybe, where we're going to feel like, I don't know really what I'm doing, and it's kind of vulnerable and it's kind of scary. But when we actually face the places and step out of our comfort zone, that's where growth happens. And this is a growth environment, this is a growth room. So yes, I'm going to push you a little bit, I'm going to challenge you a little bit, I'm going to urge you on a little bit to expand and to grow, because when you leave here, my hope is that you leave better. Or when you come here, my hope is that you leave better. And that doesn't come by staying the same way that we came into the room. Okay? So when it comes to being an impactful speaker, being an effective communicator, whether this is even in your copywriting on your website, whether this is how you show up on social media, whether this is how you show up to a client meeting or in rooms like this, what's really beautiful about communication is that 93% of it is actually nonverbal. 7% of communication is the words that we say. 7%. When you think about that, how many of us have been so stuck in our head about what's my signature statement or what's my 30-second story going to be, and all of a sudden we get up here and we're really nervous. And you say your 30-second story and it's bad. Right? That's because you can have the best 30-second story, what we like to call, and we do it a lot better actually than a 30-second story, than a bad 30-second pitch. Ours is called a signature statement. And it actually is less about the words that you say and more about how you be and your come from when you say it. Because people will never remember what you say. They will only remember the way that you make them feel. So you could say that you pick up dog poop for a living and that you just love puppies and whatever it is, and if you say it, I pick up dog poop for a living, and there's a lot of shame, and you're just you think that is the biggest, crappiest job ever, pun intended, compared to I pick up dog poop for a living and I love what I do and I get to see people's dogs and their homes and their families. It's a different come from, right? I just said almost the same thing, but how I be was different. So 7% of communication is the words that we say, and 93% of communication is the rest of it. So that's our body language, that's the inflections in our voice, if we're going up, if we're going down, if we're getting a little bit more quiet and kind of backing off, or if we're really saying something with conviction. It's our body language. It's, am I kind of uncomfortable and I'm not taking up very much space, or am I owning the room? Now, how many of you would say that you would rather do business with someone that actually steps into a space and takes up space, where they're confident in what it is that they do, compared to someone who might be a little bit more timid and they don't necessarily know, and they kind of back off from the mic, and they kind of this is what my business is. Anybody want to do business with that girl? Nope, I don't. I love you, but I don't want to do business with you. Right? Because both can be true, right? Nothing against you, but I actually need you to own the space of what it is that you're doing for me to want to do business with you. Okay? So when it comes to when we do our signature statement, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And like it's okay, don't feel nervous about when you actually share the stone that you just put on the table, the lesson that you learned in front of everyone. We're going to work on body language first. Get grounded and centered, and then you guys are each going to come up, and yes, you're going to get to own the mic. And yes, you're going to get to take up space. Because here's the beautiful thing about taking up space, is that it's actually, well, you're taking up space. I had a baby, and I'm working out a lot more now, and I'm taking up space more internally, but my pants are getting a lot more loose.
Good problem to have.
It is. So if I keep pulling them up, that's why. But when I love it. But when it comes to taking up space, a lot of times, especially for us as women, is we almost fall into this, ooh, like, but if I take up space and if I get big, it's actually going to take up space from someone else. But here's the thing, so that's not even how the universe works. The universe is ever expanding. And as the universe expands, it actually makes more space for more stars and more galaxies to shine. And so if we actually step into that understanding of that universal law, that actually when I take up space, what it does is it makes space for other people to get big around me and for other people to shine around me. If I hadn't have taken up space and gotten bigger, it would have never created the opportunity for Viorica to own her voice. It would have never taken the opportunity, it would have never turned into the opportunity for Kiersey to begin to lead. And it wouldn't have been the same type of intention of a group like this. Are there other really great groups? Absolutely. Go be involved in them. We have an abundance mentality. Go make all the connections that you can. Connection in community is one of the most amazing things that you can cultivate, especially in today's world, especially with social media and AI, and is that going to be a robot talking to me? This is actually one of the most valuable things that we can cultivate, especially in the next few years. There's going to be a lot more noise, a lot more chatter, a lot more artificial. This is the real. Right? So, as we talked about taking up space and your body language, what I also love to teach about is owning the energy that you bring to a room. Can we have the worst morning and the crappiest day, and I've got breast milk wherever, my baby pooped on me, and I got, when I was loading the whatever into my white pants, got dirty, and, right? And all of a sudden, like, that's our morning, and I could totally bring that in here. Does it mean that I am fake and I'm hiding that stuff and whatever? No, it actually just means that I'm owning the energy, that I'm responsible for the energy that I bring into this room. And poopy diapers, I love my daughter, poopy diapers is not the energy that I'm bringing here. That is for a different space. And so owning the energy, being responsible for what you bring in the room, that means you are invited to leave your insecurities at the door and actually show up as the big person that you are on the inside. Because the real flex, especially in today's world, where there's a lot of people who probably have way more followings than you do, and way bigger email lists, and way bigger businesses, and way bigger whatever it is, way bigger hopes and dreams, way bigger houses, whatever it is, the real flex in today's world is being big enough on the inside that no matter, that as you stand next to giants, you don't feel insecure. That doesn't happen on accident. It takes time, it takes repetition, it takes safe environments like this where it's actually safe to fail. I push you out of your comfort zone in this environment because it's safe to fail here. It's safe to mess it up. It's safe to say it's safe to like be a little intimidated and kind of back up. And I'm going to invite you up. And as you talk in the microphone like this, I'm going to say, get that microphone in your face and own your voice. Right? It's okay to fail here. Because the beautiful part about failing in the best way with community is that when you do it in a safe environment, in a safe place where you belong, and you're actually willing to take bigger risks when you leave this room, but you're willing to take bigger risks because you know that when you fail, when you get pick up another rock, right? It actually is supported by the people that are around you. And we don't let you stay in rock bottom, we actually help pull you out. We help pick up the rocks with you to help you build something amazing. So you get to be responsible for the energy that you bring up here. You get to be responsible for the energy that you bring in the room. And then as you are sharing, what I love to say is our signature statement. This is your why. Okay, so a lot of times we get into conversations of what we do, which is great, but we rarely get to why we do what we do. And what's interesting about language and communication is what we do is a lot more visceral, it's a lot more head knowledge, it's a lot more logical. But again, if people will never remember what you say, they will only remember the way you make them feel. To stand out in a noisy world, to be memorable in a room full of other really amazing women, we want to make them feel something about it. We want to share our heart about why we do what it is that we do. Right? And so our signature statement, we actually start with why. Why you do what you do. Why it lights you up. And then we get into the how you do what you do and what you do, okay? That's the order of what we do instead of the opposite. Most people start with what, then they go how they do what they do, and then they maybe get to why they do what they do. We only start with why, okay? So I'm actually gonna invite all of you to stand up first. We're gonna take a little bit of, it's called a power pose. How many of you have heard about power posing? Yes, Jen's got it, Jen's got it. Now this is one of the easy techniques when it comes to growing your confidence, so that no matter what room you get into, you can just take a minute to power pose. And it literally is telling your body to pick up and to signal confidence on a neurotransmitter level, okay? So what a power pose is, it means you get to take up space. So you're gonna get like feet hip width apart, like really get like good and grounded. And then we're gonna take our hands, you're gonna suck in your core, almost like someone's gonna punch you, and it's like this. So get really, really solid in your core. This isn't a power pose. I want put the girls out. Right. And as we actually are going to sit here for a minute, now you guys can just still power pose. And begin to breathe a little bit deeper, expand a little bit more on the inside. This is telling your brain, oh, this is confidence. I'm doing this. Okay. I might not feel confidence, but what's so beautiful about our brain-body connection is that we can use our brain to tell our body to do something. We can also use our body to tell our brain to do something. And so as we stand up nice and tall for a minute or two, as we expand on the inside, as we activate that core, pop those shoulders back, lift your chin a little bit. And as we take up space, this is the place where we actually want to come from. And this is the energy, this is the posture, this is the pose where we want to come from. So take a deep breath and kind of shake it out a little bit. How many of you feel a little bit more like, Yeah. Right, I know. Like good stretch. Yeah. Core activation. Like if you feel more powerful throughout that pose and throughout that posture, that's part of what helps you from this come from. Right? So now that we have this powerful come from, now we want to share your 30-second stories or your signature statements. So again, you guys can have a seat. We're going to come up one by one. And yes, you get the microphone. Yes, you get to take up space. And I'm very well aware that public speaking is the #1 fear over death. But I promise you won't die. And I promise that every woman in here is actually some of your biggest fans. Where this is the safe place for you to take those risks. This is the safe place for you to face those fears. This is a safe place for you to grow and to expand and to let your voice be heard. Sound good? All right, so what a signature statement looks like or sounds like is, if you typically start with I believe, that is a really great start, okay? Because we typically, again, when we start with the what, I do these networking events. I believe that connection and community is one of the most important things that we can cultivate. That no matter what happens in life or in business, that if we can be surrounded by a supportive, genuine, connected community, especially for us as women, that together we can show the world what's possible. Sounds a lot different, right? So that's the why, right? Then the how I do that. I do that through my company. It's called Business of Bubbly. We have chapters all across the nation. Now it's what, right? Or how I do that. I connect women together in their business and their life through different, our connection cards, through creating better conversations, through hosting events, and then what we do, right? We network with each other. We make genuine connection. Does that make sense? That sounds a little bit different when you start with why, right? All right. Who wants to go first?
Feeling risky.
Yes, girl. Woo, 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 woo,
Can
woo.
you say yes, please?
Yes, queen. Let's go.
Okay, I am Anna Morishon. I believe. Is that what you wanted to say?
Yep. Take your hands out of your pocket. Thank you.
This-
Hey girl,
Hey, girl, hey. No, I believe I am a dream maker. I used to call myself a teller, a banker, but now I'm just a dream maker. I help people get into their first home. There's something about birth into homes. There's something about owning a home that just kind of brings that level of pride up, that you have that pride of ownership. You rent something and it's like, man, who cares? Landlord will get it. But when you actually own, it's like, oh, okay, let me take care of where that's out of place, or this is out of place. So, and that is my passion. That's what I like doing. But most importantly, too, with everything going, social media, everything electronic, I still am very passionate about the person-to-person contacts. I'm horrible at learning names or remembering names. Horrible at that. But the faces, I'll always find you in a lineup. I can recognize you in a lineup.
Any crime.
But petty crime. No, but it still goes back to that, and I like how you say it, belly to belly.
That's how we greet each other.
With both bellies. Okay. But I strongly believe on that having more of those in-person interactions is what creates those long-time, lifetime clients. So, and you'll get more quality referrals and things like that from there.
Love that. So good. All right. Who wants to go next? Love it. Come on up, sister.
All right. You're so promiscuous.
Yes, queen.
So that is my little sister. I'm incredibly proud of her. But I think what's exciting and I love about this, women supporting women, and the enthusiasm and excitement that this generates, I want to be here. Okay, so that is my why. And I need to stop saying because I saw you had something a reminder, and I really need to start doing that. What I do by day, I have a couple of jobs right now. I'm a human resources professional. I work remote, but I have started my own business here in Idaho. It is a dirty job kind of thing. I might need more than 30 seconds, but I'm going to cut it short.
Short and awesome.
But it is like, I like what you said about you do it with excitement. You know, I rent dumpsters for a living, or I pick up trash. I pick up trash, okay? So for me, that's, you know, it's something different. You don't usually find women in that sort of business. So I like the enthusiasm in this room. I like the support and the excitement that it generates. And, you know, thank you for giving me an opportunity to be part of this work.
Someone's trash is someone else's treasure.
That's right.
Yes, Lauren. Let's give it up for Lauren.
First, can I ask what your name is?
Marilena.
Marilena. Marilena, I feel like I had a download, so I want to share real quick. I feel like you help people lighten their lives.
Ooh.
Right? Because I hate clutter and I appreciate any opportunity for someone to help me lighten that load, lighten my life. It feels just so much lighter.
Let's talk, sister.
That is your new tagline. I was deciding that for you. That is so good.
Because I feel like it fits with your excitement. Because I feel like in services like that, we need people who truly are grateful for what they do. And I mean, I would hire a dumpster for someone who was excited to give it to me, right? I don't need one right now, but okay. So first, I feel like from what Charity said, I just like need to let it down. So this is what we're going to start with. I have no idea what it looks like, but we're just going with this today. Hi, I'm Lauren. I believe that every parent deserves to learn how to connect with their baby through movement and cozy homes filled with love. I do that by bringing pediatric physical therapy and proactive play sessions to parents of littles 0 to 4 in Boise and beyond.
Can I challenge you?
Yes.
Because I know that you're up for it. I want you to do it again, but I want you to kind of get nice and close.
I do. I feel like there's like an invisible like something. Yeah, because even when I don't want to do it though. I will, but it feels heavy to be this close to people, which is interesting. Okay. See if I can remember it again. Hi, I'm Dr. Lauren Baker. I believe that every parent deserves the right to learn how to connect with their little through movement in cozy homes filled with love. I do this by bringing pediatric physical therapy and proactive play sessions to the families of Boise and beyond.
Yes! Okay, keep playing. That was so great. So great. All right, we're going to keep it going up here, Jen.
Sure.
You're next, sister.
All right, I am Jen. So I believe that we all start businesses or get involved in what we're doing because we have a passion. And then we follow a lot of fake gurus and you gotta do this social and you gotta do this and you gotta do all these different things that waste our time and money. 80% of what we do marketing-wise is wasted effort. And I believe that it's my job to help you find the 20% that's effective. And so I do that through my agency called Formula Done. And I have a range of services ranging all the way from complete done for you down to local roundtable meetups that we do. So
I need
all right, who's next?
Hold on, I'm going to challenge you.
I'll challenge.
It. Okay, hands out of your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, ready? So here's why. Here's why. One of the first things that we actually look at with people when it comes to if we're going to trust them or not are their hands. And if they are hidden, it actually subconsciously gives I'm like, I have a weapon behind my back and I'm like, that's true. So subconsciously, when we can't see someone's hands, they're actually not going to trust you.
Okay.
And I think that you are worthy of being trusted with your business, so that's why I'm going to challenge you to do that again.
All
With your
right.
hands out.
Okay. I don't even remember what I said the first time, so
It was good.
okay.
The 80% and the 20%. That was good.
80% and 20%. Yeah. All right, so we'll just start off with that. 80% of the marketing and sales efforts that you're doing in your business are ineffective. And the key to finding success is knowing that 20%. And
I love helping you find that 20% that's going to make a difference and connect with other people, because the same 20%, the one that works for you, is not the same that works for everybody else. And the magic is in finding that. I do that through my business Formula Done, and we range from services from done for you to local networking roundtable meetups.
Yay! Yeah! There we go. Good job. All right, Kirsty. Come on up, girlfriend.
All right, so my name is Kirsty, and I believe that when women feel confident over 40, that they can do the same thing that they did in their 20s, and I find that more women, once they turn 40, feel like life is over, and so I do that by teaching them how to feel confident within themselves and their faith as they step into midlife, and allowing that to continue on in their life so that they still feel like they're thriving and growing like they did in their 20s, because life isn't over. I feel like life's beginning when you're over 40, so just trying to encourage that. And how I do that is I have confidence coaching, and then I have makeup also, and then I just started a ministry too that just allows women to connect and feel welcome and warm with other women, and allowing that to flourish their relationships.
But I'm gonna have you come back up. Okay, I want you to power pose for a minute. But I want you to be grounded on both feet. Widen your stance. Core strong, shoulders back. And lift your chin. Yes, we're looking at you. And it's okay. Because it's okay to be seen. And I want you to do it again, but I want you to hold the microphone closer.
Closer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because it was kind of out here. And you were very sweet.
Yes, I am.
It's true. She is. But I actually want to see more of the power.
Alright. There's power in there too.
I know. That's what I want to see.
All right, so my name is Kirsty, and I believe that when women feel confident over 40, that they can accomplish more than they can in their 20s, because when we turn 40, there's something about the inner work and just where we're at that allows us to grow and flourish in a different way than when we're younger. How I do that is through confidence coaching, makeup, and gatherings once a month, and I believe that when women gather and get together, there's a power and beauty within that, and they have to find that within themselves in order to share that with others.
Ooh, good. You guys see the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you notice? We're just gonna like round table this a little bit. What did you notice in the difference of her first versus the second one?
More confident.
She commanded it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I own this, I'm confident, I know how to do this, trust me, buy from me. Sort of thing.
I feel like the words flowed better, and not just because she had already done it. Like they were almost like similar but different words that maybe fit better together.
It's coming more from her heart the second time than head first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So good. Look at that. Just a couple quick little adjustments.
I think it's the voice projection.
Yeah. All right. Come on up, girlfriend. Remind me of your name.
Wendy.
Wendy.
Yes.
I love your jacket.
Thank you.
It's a vibe. I love it. All right. Let's give it up for Wendy.
I am Wendy Lepra. I am a life coach, and I do it because I love to help women heal, overcome their limiting beliefs so they can live to their highest potential. And that helps them help the world around them. We all have so many beliefs that come from childhood, and they kind of continue on, and it causes a ripple effect with the world around us that continues into our families, our kids, our relationships, and everything. And I feel like we can heal the world if we live to our highest potential. I'm just talking out of my butt right now, I'm sorry. Thank you. Power pose.
I actually feel like you need to do as actually surrender.
Yeah, I do.
So I want you to actually close your eyes.
Okay.
Take a couple of big deep breaths. I feel like you're used to the power.
I am.
You're used to the vulnerability, which is actually the greatest power. One more big deep breath and start with wide.
Okay, I'm gonna start over. I'm just gonna tell you, as a life coach, I actually have had a lot of imposter syndrome for a long time. And I'm just kind of coming into myself and feel really aligned because I felt like for a long time that somebody that's a life coach could not go through a lot of crap. And now I feel that who would want to work with somebody that hasn't gone through a lot of crap? So that's why I do what I do, because I really want to help people heal from all their crap.
So good. That was great. I love it. When do you actually feel like for you, you're going to learn what it looks like to own your voice in this next season? And the story that you have on your life is actually really powerful, and it's going to impact a lot of people.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like it's not only one-to-one for you, it's one to very many.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel. Yeah.
It's there. Yeah. Yeah. So good. And I love that you're actually understanding the gift of what it looks like, that what qualifies you is actually what you've gone through.
That's right.
Because there's a difference in living out of circumstance versus living out of calling. Right? When we live out of circumstance, so I'll give you an example. So actually in a few days, I'm going out of town to go speak to some incredible leaders, influencers, people that have 6, 7, 8-figure businesses, millions of podcast downloads, hundreds and thousands of millions of followers. They're some of the thought leaders of the world today, and I get to go speak with them and facilitate connection. And am I there with my business? No. Am I there with my podcast? No. Could it be intimidating to go stand in that room in front of all of these incredible big names and leaders? Could be, if I live from circumstance. But if I actually show up from calling and lead from calling, I actually know I'm meant to be a voice. I actually know that one of my superpowers is to create connection and to create belonging. And it's because that's one of the stones that I picked up from being rejected and being hurt. And feeling like I didn't fit in and like I didn't belong. And so it has turned into now one of my superpowers. I know what it looks like to create belonging and to feel like you're a part of something, not just for yourself, but a part of something bigger. And that's what this is about. And so, yes, live from calling, not from circumstance. And you're doing it. All right, Eureka, come on up, girlfriend. Woo, 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 woo.
I'm squeaky, so in case you didn't hear me coming.
Okay, hold on. You don't get to play small like that.
Oh, all right.
Let's hear that squeak.
All right, let's give it up for Eureka.
Oh my goodness. Bringing the heat, right? Next level. So, my name is Eureka Wakelam, and I believe ignorance is painful. Right? You know the scripture that says, where people lack knowledge, they perish. And so I believe it's important to bring knowledge to areas that are some of the most fundamental things in people's lives, which is finance. If you don't have a roadmap to where you want to go, you'll never get to where you want to be. And so I do this by creating a financial plan. My husband and I, we do this together by creating a financial plan to help people understand the fundamentals of how money works, to get you from where you are to where you want to be.
So as she came up, and you'll see this sometimes in some people that when they are feeling a little uncomfortable, and I love you and I'm calling you out in the best way, that's why I made you redo it. But they'll kind of like do this little like, oh look at these little like play kind of small a little bit so that you're like
Squeak the shoes. It's okay.
the shoes. Mine squeak
On
too.
that squeak.
Just make a ruckus when you go see places. Right? But I actually want you to like own fully when you come up and not like try and minimize like as you come up, because that's a part of even the confidence of what happens not only when you come up onto a platform, but here's another secret, that as you leave, all of a sudden you're gonna start to should all over yourself. Well, I should have said this, and I should have said that, and I should have did this. You're gonna should all over yourself. Are you guys experiencing this? Those of you who have gone, are you experiencing this? So, no, okay, good, no, okay, good, no. You guys are such a good speaking coach.
Well, you made me redo it, so.
I love it. What typically will happen is you will start to should all over yourself and what you should have said. But here's what I've learned in a 10 plus years the speaking experience that I've had, is that there is a leaning into trust of what you said was exactly what needed to be said. Yes, I'm making you redo a few things, but that's more about your come from instead of actually what you're saying, right? I'm not necessarily correcting any of what you're saying, I'm correcting your posture and your come from. And there's a leaning into trust that what you said is exactly what needed to be heard, and exactly what you didn't say was exactly what didn't need to be heard. And there is a surrender and a leaning into trust of that. Can we like reevaluate and get better next time? Absolutely. And you're exactly where you are in the exact right moment, and everything is always happening for you. Right? All right. So who is next? Come on up, Jenny. Your sweater is so cute.
All right, I'm Jenny. I have, I think, kind of here I've come up with maybe a couple statements. So one, almost more personal based, and then professional, but they all work together. I would say that I believe that we are our best selves and get to our best when we make decisions based on our abilities and our desires rather than fear, whether that be fear of comfortability or security, but we really get out there and do what we're capable of, not just do things based on fear. As far as a professional life, I believe that I'm a physician assistant. I believe that patients need to be educated, and it is my job to educate them, whether that be health or aesthetics or anything. So I do that as a PA by continually adding to my education so I can help patients get to where they need to be. The best thing we can do is let them make an informed decision themselves. So that's basically what I do as a physician assistant, whether it be in plastic surgery, spine health, or aesthetics. Support the patients or the clients based on the decisions that they make, and then just help educate them along the way.
Good. Play a little bit more. Okay. I would actually, this is going to sound a little weird, and Lauren, if you're willing to play too, I would actually love for you to start again with why. Why you do what you do. But I want you to look right at Lauren, because she is one of the most encouraging, like, big heart champion for women. And just share your heart with her. That, are you ready to play?
Okay. Can I also say that I feel like you are a bridge. So you're a bridge to the physician, you're a bridge to the people, like your patients, you're just a bridge, and maybe just feel that visualization. Because I feel like that's what came through to me from just listening.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm Jenny. I'm a physician assistant. My why is really knowing the importance of relax. Okay. So my why is really to bring education to patients and then help them make decisions, whatever it may be, based on giving them all the information and helping them make the decisions, whether it be healthcare, aesthetics, or anything like that, and being there to support them and answer their questions and be a real guide from them medically and personally.
Yeah! Good job! Hey, how was the difference in that?
Very good, yeah.
So good, I love it. All right, come on up here. Celeste,
yes.
Okay. All right, girlfriend.
All right, so my name is Celeste. I believe women are beautiful and strong, and we love ourselves, we want to take care of ourselves. So what I do is aesthetics. So I do lots of lasers, I do Botox, and that, me personally, I don't want to age gracefully. And a part of that too, beauty is, it builds our self-confidence. When we put on that lip gloss or that eyeliner, we just feel beautiful and ready to attack the day. We're just ready. So, I also do love, sweatpants and hoodies too. I feel amazing that way too. But, when I'm out and I'm talking to you, beautiful ladies, I want to feel my best.
Right.
So that's why I do what I do.
Yes. One more time. What?
I want to feel my best. Is that what we're
doing? A quick little. That was
okay.
Good. Yeah.
So I can't remember every single word, but like I personally don't want to age gracefully. So that's why I got into aesthetics. I do different lasers and Botox, and so that's it.
Good job. That was a good line for you. I personally don't want to age gracefully either. So guess what? I totally identify with that. I mean, I don't want to
I like that line.
age, right? That's a good line. Like, I don't want to make it look like I'm 20 when I'm 70, but
I was
complaining either. Right? I want to age gracefully. So that's a really good tagline for sure. All right, everyone got to go, right? Do you guys feel more confident in what you shared with your business and why you do what you do with a little tweaking here and there? Good. Now we are going to get into rocks on the table. Okay? And this won't be for everyone. This will be a personal choice, and we are actually going to hear from 4 of you. So the 4 that say, actually, the rock that I picked up from rock bottom, or the rock that was thrown at me that was meant to hurt me, has actually become like a part of what I'm building. You get to come up and share. Now this isn't like a big half-hour keynote speech. That might come later on down the road at other events, right? This is still short and awesome, but there is richness and depth when you can bring people into your rock bottom and bring them back up. So just like I shared about how we journeyed through loss and that ugly cry moment that I had on the bathroom floor, buried in shame, feeling like I was so broken. But I didn't stay there. I was met with so much love and grace and healing and the perspective that a million pieces and parts have to come together for life to be sustained. Right? It's not here's the lesson, here's the coming out. And now what I believe here's the mountaintop moment of that every single one of you is a gift. Don't stay in your rock bottom, get the lesson. Share some of the concepts of the lesson. So still short and awesome, but your story is meant to be heard. And I want you to share a little bit about that picture of what it means, with how it was a rock thrown at you or rock bottom, rocks on the table. Okay, to share about it. And I will also preface this. If you're very comfortable on the front of the room, this probably isn't for you. If your heart is beating really, really fast and you kind of want to go crawl in the corner, this is for you. So who would like to go first? All right, Jenny, come on up.
And P.S. when she's done. So this is really vulnerable and really brave. So when she's done, I actually want us to give a standing ovation. Okay? Okay. Sound good? Sure. And you just get to stand and receive it for a minute, because I think that for us as women, we don't just stand and receive and be celebrated. So I want you just to stand and receive for a minute. Okay? All right.
I would say, and this has happened very recently, I felt like in my professional life, I wasn't really happy where I was at. So I felt like I was working a lot and not getting a lot out of it. So I basically sat down with my boss and had the physician that I work with, and had a really uncomfortable conversation. Instead of going the route of finding another job and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and then I give him my notice and then I'm out of there, I thought I'm going to approach this differently. As being, now that I'm 40, I'm going to have a hard decision. I talked with my husband and said, let's have a hard discussion with my boss. So I sat down with him and said, I'm not happy where I'm at, and this is why. This is kind of where I need to be. I don't know if we can do that together, or that means I need to go elsewhere. So that was a really hard conversation to have, and we left it as, let's just revisit, think about it, and talk. So I didn't really know if he heard what I said or where we ended it really. And then the next week, I think he kind of got scared by that conversation and found somebody to replace him. He's got a job post. I found my own job posting for my job last week. So that was hard, because it's like, he didn't have the same respect to have that conversation with me. So, and I put a lot of pride in my work and what I do. So that was hard. And then I could have taken that, called my husband, and I was like upset. And I was like, what do I do? Am I going to get fired today? So he's like, have the conversation again. What do you have to lose? So I went back that same day and said, let's talk. And he said, how about later today? And I said, I can't focus on anything unless we talk. So we had another really hard conversation. And I said, well, what are your goals? What are my goals? And it ended up being a very good thing where, he's going to find somebody to do the part of what I don't love that I'm doing. And he's going to kind of support me. And it really, when all the dust settles from that horrible feeling like this, something was against me, when the dust settles from that, I feel like it's a weight off my shoulder. I can go do what I want to do, what makes me happy, and like I said, make decisions based on my abilities rather than just fear of staying in something because it's comfortable. And I think I will be better for that. He will be better for that. I haven't burned any bridges, and I won't leave with a 2-week notice and leave him in a bad position. We can kind of decide what works for both of us moving forward. And professionally, it's a horrible, hard conversation, but I think in the end it's going to be the best for me. And so, that was sort of a rock bottom. I feel like all my life has led me to where I'm at, but it's nice to know that I make changes throughout my career and keep support. You don't just have to leave those people, they can grow with you, even if you're not on the same path. So it's like we broke up, but we're still together. So we're gonna work through it together.
Thank you for sharing. And I love that, how you searched for and made it a win-win.
Yeah.
So good. So good. All right, who's next? Okay, Kirsty. Come on up, girlfriend.
All right, so the picture that I drew was the water with the drops. And what it represented to me is infinity. That I am fully capable of everything that I am meant to do in my life, that everything is able to be filled up in the way that it's supposed to be filled. And last year, I started my business, but I didn't really do with it what God was calling me to do, and so it was just a struggle bus for me last year of really fully stepping into the callings that are placed on my life and what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I started a devotional that I actually bought like years ago, and I didn't do it. And then, it's been in the back of my mind like, oh, I should do that. That would be really great to do. But then as I started doing it this year, I realized that there was a reason why I didn't do it years ago. It's because the things that I'm walking in now is God speaking to me through the devotional and really breaking down internally the pre-made design that's already been placed inside of me, that I'm fully capable of doing everything that is called upon me in my life, and that I have the capacity and the infinite, not only behaviors, but I have the qualifications completely in me to do what I'm supposed to be doing, and that I just need to fully step in to the way that God has equipped me and allow Him to continue to equip me as I walk through the spaces. So this is really representing even when you hit rock bottom, you still have the capacity to come out of the water and be the person, the woman that God has designed you and created you to be. And there's nothing holding you back but yourself. You have limitations that are your own self-imposed limitations, but God created you with none. There are no limitations to the capacity and the journey and the capabilities that you have in your life.
Good job, good job. I even feel like the stones that have been thrown at you, actually when they land in that water, that it actually is going to create a ripple effect and a bigger impact than what you think. All right, who's next? We have two more.
Guess I'll share.
All right.
I drew this card, and it's representative of a woman looking into the light, like she's overcome something. And when I saw that, I'm like, man, she's overcome a lot. Like, it's kind of like a phoenix rising out of the ashes, But coming up here, I'm like, which story should I pick? I feel like so many of us have come through life, and there's so many seasons, and when I have friends in their 20s, I don't mean to make this really long or anything, but I'm just thinking out loud, like 20s, 30s, 40s, and every era has like some huge thing. And I'm 45, and I've been a competitive bodybuilder for several years, or I was for several years. And I did very well. And I had no balance in my life. None. Like, I had no fun, very disciplined, and I had myself in a box. Wendy, the bodybuilder. And last year, I got very sick, but I kept competing, and I was supposed to go to nationals in Orlando, and I got COVID. And I got so sick that I could not overcome it. I couldn't go do anything. Like, I was on the couch. And I finally went to the doctor. I was sick with it for 3 months. And they did some blood work and found that my kidneys were not functioning properly, like maybe at 40%. And they told me if I continued to compete that I'd be on dialysis. So for me, it was like an identity death, an ego death. And like to some people it might seem stupid, right? Like, it's just bodybuilding. But to me it was like I lost myself. And I just like laid on the couch pitying myself, really. Now I look back and I'm like, big deal. But at the time I was like, I lost my health, my whole identity at the time, and was just, I was grieving. I was grieving my life at the time. And I didn't know what to do anymore. Like, what do I do with my life now? So, you know, there I lay, feeling sorry for myself. What do I do? And then I realized I can't do this anymore. I have to do something. So I started picking myself up. I worked with my own life coach. And then I started looking at myself and realized all the patterns that I created from years before, from childhood. I'd had an eating disorder when I was younger. So all of those years of bodybuilding was created out of validation and not loving myself, control, and I could go on and on with all of the crap, patterns in relationships. But now, here I am, learning to love myself. I have body dysmorphia, and that's changing. I'm letting myself get some, flab, and I'm enjoying my life. Learning to find what I enjoy outside of bodybuilding and other things, and I'm spending time with my family, and I love life again. So I hardly ever work out too. I mean, I do, but not like strength training and stuff. So
Wendy, thank you. And I just feel like in this next season for you, the journey that you're on is actually going to lead to exactly what you're looking for.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with what you do, but who you are.
Yeah. I will say I'm learning to use more of a feminine side of me because that was so masculine. You know what I mean? So.
Your presence feels soft.
Oh, thank you.
Like in a really good way.
Thank you.
Like sometimes I can.
No, thank you.
All right, one more. All right, come on up, girlfriend.
Okay, because I never feel 100% comfortable being up here, so this is as much for me as it is for you. So I picked up this woman who obviously didn't age gracefully. But I look at this as being older and wiser. And
Oh, I thought you said you. I'm like, yeah, you did. What are you talking about?
I hope with Celeste's help I could stay beautiful forever. So my story starts from, and this is not just for you guys' benefit, for mine as well. I have been doing human resources for my entire life. When I was 33, I was promoted to Vice President of Human Resources. I can't even tell you how many rocks were thrown at me because, first of all, you're a woman, you're young, and you don't belong here in this very, 99% group of men, right? So I've been in corporate America for the past 20 plus years in the same role. And I'll tell you, we doubt ourselves all the time, as women, we are usually more capable than men. I always look for that equality portion, right? Because there are very good men, very good women too, but we seem to find ourselves in a space where we're not good enough. You know, we're not good enough, we don't belong here. So I can't tell you how many times I've sat in meetings and I thought, you know what, I belong here. I know more than these guys. And after a while, you start exhibiting that, you know, that professionalism, that knowledge. Many times I'd be like, do you know how to do this? Yeah, sure I know how to do this. Then I'd go home and learn how to do it. Because you can't even let them see that you're vulnerable. In front of women, I think it's easier to feel vulnerable, but in front of men, they'll eat you alive. So I've been in, you know, I'm still in senior leadership, one of 6 senior, you know, leaders within our company, and they're all men. They're all men, including the CEO, my boss. And it still feels hard sometimes to picture yourself there, but you know what? You get up every day, you go to work, and you feel, and you have to tell yourself, I belong here, I earned this. You do have a seat at the table. So don't let anybody tell you that you don't belong there, because you're the one that writes your own story. That's, and like I said, I have to remind myself of that, even after 20 years of doing this, you know, of being in that leadership role, where I feel like, now I feel like I'm respected, they respect my advice, my opinions and things like that, but it doesn't come easy. And we're the first ones to put ourselves down. So quit doing that. It's like, you have to put yourself up there, and if they don't like it, well, so be it, right? But that's all I wanted to share.
Good job, good job. Before we end, I actually feel like there's one more person. And it was probably...
Fine.
I knew it! I was going to call you out if you didn't come up here.
Okay.
I knew it. I'm like, I'm never going to call her out if she doesn't come up here.
Well, I feel like this group was so awesome today, and I really was like, okay, I both feel like I'm called to share, but I equally feel like I'm meant to hold space for everyone else who wants to share. So that's super weird, because I didn't really know, and I was like, no, I feel really at peace with not sharing, because I talk a lot, so it's kind of natural for me, but all right, let's do it.
And I'm gonna be up here because this does make me nervous. Okay, so this is the picture that I picked, and part of it was because it's obviously very sweet. Cute little baby toes, and I love working with infants, but more than that, in this season specifically, we moved here in August, and it has felt from the first 3 hours that I touched the ground in Boise that this is where I meant to build my own roots. And obviously I have a husband, so he's, part of that. But he didn't feel as strongly. Like, I felt so strongly it almost scared me. And there were just consistent things that kept showing up in that way. But at the same time, in a way, this has been our hardest move because I have felt so devastatingly lonely in my business and in just moving here. That every time I would feel so lonely, I would show up and be here, and I would just cry. This is the first time I haven't actually cried. And what this picture represents for me is how you can show up in the world and you can be born into the most absolutely loving family, but you are still an infant and you are still alone in some aspects of being a human. And you have to learn how to exist in this new body and in this new experience. And for me, moving to Boise was really like that, because I am super grateful that I have a loving relationship with my husband. I have amazing friends all over the world, country, whatever. My immediate family is amazing, and in a lot of ways, we moved from being 2 hours away from them. So for the last couple years, I've just felt nothing but like amazing and awesome love. So I'm really grateful for that. But rebuilding my business, coming to a new space that even though I felt like was the absolute right space for us, I didn't have anyone that was walking through the exact experience that I was experiencing, right? The exact new, different business building journey. And Business and Bubbly has done that for me, and I wouldn't have found it if I didn't have that completely devastating loneliness, because I've always felt that loneliness with like coworkers or like hobbies, and because I was trying to be really specific with how I was spending my money, I didn't start some of those things that I had in the past. And so I was almost forced to find other things to help. And so I'm just super grateful to be here, and I'm super grateful for Charity and everybody. So.
All right. We are going to, so that rounds out what we're going to do today. Did you guys find this valuable? This was a little different. It wasn't like business strategy, and it wasn't like it was just a different, I kind of wanted to just have a different take on it. And every event is a little bit different. We still stick with some of the similar themes of always starting with connection first, and then we end with community, so we are going to get a group picture. We normally do have a photographer, but she texted me this morning, she wasn't feeling good. So, but we're like, a big piece of what we do is to actually allow the space for women to be seen, heard, known, and to belong. And connection happens when we are seen, heard, and known for who we are and for who we're not. So you get to show up fully in this room exactly as who you are. You don't have to pretend like you're anybody else. Like, we love you for you. And belonging happens when you are accepted for who you are and who you're not. And that's the culture that we have here. And it truly is a culture of community, and we're looking for unity, not uniformity. Uniformity means that we gotta think the same way and dress the same way, and we gotta vote the same way, and we talk very similar, and everything looks the same, right? Guess who else wanted uniformity? Uniformity. Unity actually means that, especially in a culture of honor like this, that we can see the gold in others without getting tripped up by the dirt. And unity means that we can rally together, that despite our differences, we can still honor and respect each other, especially as women in business, in the arena together, and be each other's biggest fans. So before we do our group picture and end, I'm going to draw a ticket for prize. So get your ticket. And then I have a favor for you guys. Actually, if you could maybe gather up, Leo, would you gather up the cards? Yeah. I have a favor to ask. These are little invitations. It says you're invited, and there's a QR code to check us out. And how many of you think that more women need to be in spaces like this and that they would find it valuable? And how many of you know that as we become a bigger community in here, that it actually helps, obviously, us grow connection, grow our business even more. We believe that when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. And so if you're open and willing, you don't have to, but I'm actually asking if you would take some of these invitations and invite some women for next month. Because what I would love to see is this room filled with even more incredible women. And not that you guys are not enough, but actually think that what we're doing is more women need to be part. Yeah? So if you're willing, take some, invite some women. I've got a whole stack of them up here. Get your tickets out. And this is for my little goal getter planner and journal. Wendy! Oh. There you go, ma'am. Welcome. So glad you came. And then I'm going to actually draw 2 more names, and us 3, the 2 of the names that I draw and myself, we're all going to go on a little coffee date. Jenny and Jen.
Easy to remember.
Perfect! I love it. So we can connect, coordinate a day and a time where we can jump on a text thread or Instagram thread and figure something out. That would be so easy for me to remember your guys' names. I love it. And if you want to come up here, we actually have a camera. I'll set up my, or do you want to set your, I've got another tripod. And we can just do a little video, set it up as a video.
Okay.
And
You don't
have to
use that or anything, but I listen and I have one for you too. I just go with whatever.
And then this is meant to be like the springboard of connection. So make sure that you connect and collaborate outside of here as well.
So next time you see me, I'll be 20 years younger.
Turn it long ways. Will it go that way? Or it can't go this way?
They're super clean.
Whichever.
I mean, I'm very on the floor.
Oh, long ways? Oh, jeez. Did I just break it?
No, you're good. It comes off to charge.
Look up Erin and
then, okay, hold on. We gotta do. Change this from video to.
And I would do a video, and then we can just.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, because we could still do the.
No, let's just do a video.
Okay.
She watches her.
That works.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, what did she say? She said you have to like.
You have to.
I don't know.
Too much.
Okay, if you want to scoot in a little bit, that would be great.
Theo, you want to come down
Yeah.
here? Yeah. There we go. All right, it's a video, so we can just do fun stuff. Let's smile on 3, then we can get
Can we get a good one?
Yeah, just smile for.
Yay.
Like we're taking a picture, and I can get a screenshot. 1, 2, 3. And then how about some fun with spirit fingers? Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, so glad you guys came. And let me know if you have any questions about our membership. But for new people, we would love to invite you in and to come hang out with us every single month.
Do you normally do it like the same days of the week, or?
Yep, it's the 4th Thursday of every month from 11 to 1. Sweet. And then there's other fun member perks.
Yeah. Okay.
We only got like 6 people in the States.
Great job. That I know that was probably
Yes, please do. Well, I know me, so.